Well, yeah, it says you're live.
Yeah, back again. This is our second week of doing live podcast recordings for our YouTube audience. So we want to say hello to everyone. Thank you for joining us again for a second week. We got some good feedback on it last week, so we're trying to build the channel. So we thought we would go ahead and do this again, and maybe do it a few more times. It's fun. You never know what's going to be said. If you're into watching train wrecks, you're in for another one, I'm sure, tonight. So thank you all for watching. If you're not currently a subscriber, if you're one of our podcasters, or if you just stumbled on here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's right under here, like right below us. Hit subscribe and then ring the bell so you get notifications when we do this in the future, if we post a new video and all that. But we got some good stuff we're going to talk about tonight. And let's get to it. You ready, Grease?
Yeah, I don't really know what we're talking about, but I'm here for it. I think we're going to talk about the news of the day. That
you're burning content. You're burning content.
I'm not burning anything.
Yes, you are, because
I know exactly what it is to burn stuff, Will.
Like I said, you're burning content.
I do. Have we started yet?
No, you know how we start the show, dum-dum.
Okay, so you want me to just you don't want me to talk about burning stuff yet. But you do. Okay, so you're saying you do want me to talk. Okay.
I don't know if I'm in for this tonight. I think I'm going to, oh gosh. Well, we're not doing two shows again this week because last week that was not a good idea. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I'm Will. I'm joined by my co-host over here, the Grease. Say hello, Grease.
I got a grenade for ya. I don't know the rest. Something about, I don't know. Dude, we popped this last night after the Bucks won.
All right, folks, we are doing another live recording for our YouTube audience. So we want to say hello to them and welcome them again to watch the train wreck happen. Last week, you got a little crazy, got a little sassy. I left in something about a certain shot Grease was taking with
it's not a shot.
Reptilian creatures, and I normally try to edit things like that out of the show that children may be listening to. I forgot to, which is the danger of doing this live and thinking people have already seen it, we can go ahead and put it out. And then someone's like, hey, my kid was in the car and asked, did the Grease really do that with an alligator? So moving on, I'm going to have to make mental notes here as we go ahead to edit.
I didn't necessarily do that with an alligator, but I mean, I went to third base with it 100%.
So we are live, like I said, on our YouTube channel. If you are not subscribed there, go over to youtube.com/thepodcast and subscribe and ring the bell so you get notifications when we do these crazy things like allow Grease to be live on the internet. Today, we are going to talk about some news, and it is whiskey news. And I actually, right before this, I shot a Will's Week in Whiskey for YouTube that I'm going to try to get out tonight right after this. There was no edits, fortunately, and I nailed it on the first take. So I'm going to put that out there. But I thought we'd go ahead and talk about it because it's actually pretty big news if you are a whiskey fan. And that is today, and this is January 25th, it was announced. Why are you covering your mouth laughing?
Because you said you nailed it on the first take, and the first thing that came to my mom came to my mind was my mom got it right on the first take. Bam!
He thinks he's funny, but it's not even funny. He couldn't even get his punchline out. He couldn't get his punchline out.
I don't even know what a punchline is.
All right, folks. So here's what we've got today. We've got that MGP, who we all know as the great purveyor of sourced whiskey for non-distiller producers. They announced a merger and an acquisition of Luxco, which is the owner of the Lux Row Distilling Company. And that puts out brands like the bourbon formerly known as Rebel Yell,
I like how you did that.
The Yellowstone bourbon. They put out, Ezra Brooks, who just dropped a 99 proof bourbon, and they have the 7-year cast strength. They have, I think is it Davis or Davies County? I don't know how you pronounce it, but it looks like a hybrid of Davis and Davies. And that they have some finished bourbon there. Quite a few things. They also own Everclear. So a little throwback to the Hunch Punch days.
Right.
That's, they own that. So anyhow, MGP is acquiring them with a valuation of $475 million. They are going to,
they're going to do well.
Yeah, it's a 50, half of it is going to be a cash transaction. So they're paying $238 million to the shareholders of Luxco, as well as paying them with 5 million shares of MGP common stock. So they will then also have opportunity to put some people on the board of MGP. Anyhow, MGP is clearly getting into the direct to consumer by way of distributors game much more than just selling barrels to non-distiller producers. That is clearly the play here. They're talking about how it's financially attractive and significantly diversifies the MGP business. I think it's a big move, and I'm pretty excited about it. What do you think?
I don't understand why you don't think that MGP is already direct to consumer, because I consume the crap out of it.
You know exactly what I mean. You know exactly what I mean. This is going to be a difficult conversation if you're
Remus
the whole time.
Are you talking about Remus? Or
no,
Remus?
No, they are I said they're expanding that portion of their business, but they just recently, it's only been a couple years that George Remus and Rossville Union have been in their portfolio. They started their house brands to try to get into this, but now they're really elevating this by
I know why that Remus brand hadn't taken off fully.
Having the entire
There's only one George in whiskey. And it's George T. Stagg.
I don't know if I have the patience I had last week.
What are you talking about?
I had so much patience last week. Don't know if I got it this week.
I don't understand. So here's the deal. Here's what I think happened. Okay, you ready for this?
Do you just want me to pitch to you to do like a top 5 list or something, because you're clearly not interested in the conversation?
No, I sat here and listened to your whole thing, and then you pitched to me.
And then you said something about Remus taking off. And then you said, how do you think they're not already direct to consumer?
Right.
You're smarter than this, Grease.
I know I'm smarter than this. But here's the deal. I think MGP, I think they've got like a lot of whiskey, and they don't know what to do with it. And I'm not talking about like, oh, Grease has got his nook. It's a different kind of thing. Like they got daggum whiskey in barrels that are sitting there aging, and they're getting too old. They can't get rid of them.
They did at the end of 2019 have their stock took a pretty big hit because their projections, that some of their aged whiskey, they weren't able to move it. They weren't there. That profit center wasn't doing as well as they'd forecasted, and they had too much whiskey.
I always thought it was weird. Robinhood.
What? Say that again.
I always thought it was weird on Robinhood, because on Robinhood on the stock app, I owned MGP way back in the day, and it just I'm like, we're drinking MGP like crazy. It's all the craze, like it's happening, it's whatever. And then the stock just doesn't really go anywhere. It's always kind of been like in between, like, I don't know, like $30, $35, $40, whatever. It hasn't been like, holy cow, whiskey boom. They're making so much money. Their profit margins this year were through the roof. The quarterly statements and the whatever, the sales calls and the stockholders meetings and all that other stuff. And it just doesn't move. And so I'm sitting there, I'm like, wow, on God's green earth. I mean, MGP, I feel like it should move a little bit. It should just be pretty daggum good, especially during the daggum pandemic. It moved pretty good at the beginning of the day today, but then people sold it off because they could make a little quick profit on it. Here's the deal. They've got, I don't think, in my mind, in Grease's mind, I don't necessarily think that the hype around 10 to 12-year-old MGP is floating this company. They got to be doing something else.
Right. Well, also, I mean, they do consumable whiskey isn't their only business, right? Like they're they're distilling alcohol and things for industrial purposes, for solvents, for I mean, it's a very broad uh, product line that they produce. A portion of it is consumable alcohol and aged alcohol as well. So, I think that's where we fixate on what they do for our community, but it's a bigger business than just that. And clearly, I mean, they're dropping a $475 million deal on purchasing another whiskey company.
Right.
So that's.
Which I also don't understand that evaluation because I mean, number one, that's great for MGP because that company, Luxco or whatever, last year from like October of 2019 to October of 2020 through October of 2020, they brought in net profits of $202 million.
Yeah. They had
why are they selling
net
that
revenue
company?
in $202 million because one, they're getting stock in MGP, they're getting cash, and they're getting seats on the board. So I mean, it was a family owned company. I mean, they felt like it was in the
so
right
is it
decision.
like selling a brand and then they hire you to run the company?
No, I would say not fully. Obviously, we also don't know every detail of the deal, but they're in their statement in the press release, the Don Lux, who's the chairman and CEO of Luxco, says, "I believe this transaction represents a great outcome for Luxco employees and customers. I'm excited to continue my involvement with this blend of two well-positioned companies whose strong records of performance and commitment to excellence provide an attractive platform for continued growth." And I mean, it's MGP is acquiring Luxco, obviously, but they're referring to it as a merger as well. So there will be things that carry over in the fact that they have the opportunity to put people on the board of MGP and things like that.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Here's what I'm concerned about, Will. I don't know if it's called a soft coup or a hard coup or just a regular coup. But here's the deal, what I think's going on. Oh, okay. I'm Luxco. I'm going to, get a ton of money from MGP, and then they're going to give me a ton of their stocks, which we're actually going to use as collateral to take over the dadgum board. And then they can run it. They can kick old Don Lux out or so, or I don't know. Actually, no, never mind. He's the guy that's going to take over. He's very smart. That's what I'm thinking's happening in my head.
Well, here's what's very interesting. Actually,
I need to contact the Better Business Bureau because typically they have answers that I haven't thought about.
Yeah,
they do a really good accreditation process for companies like this.
Now
you got to pay to be a part of it. Okay,
right.
What BBB don't tell you is that I mean, they're a good business, but I mean, they definitely paid to be on our platform so that you were aware they're a good business. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Angie's List. You know what I'm saying?
I've been on Angie's List.
Angie's List is the same thing, dude. It's just packaged differently. Okay, it's the difference between using the initials AL and BBB. That's all. That's the only difference you got. Except sometimes BBB offers weird companies like marketing companies. You know what I mean? Like Angie's List, she ain't gonna mess with that no marketing companies. She's gonna talk about, oh, you tile? You do tile? Come on over. BBB's like, oh, you do tile? Come on over. You start saying, yeah, we're a marketing company. Angie's List is gonna be like, nah, man. Like you just need to head over to BBB. And that's what ends up happening.
So here's another way to look at it personally for me is that I feel like instantly, because of the distribution platform and the marketing that's already out there and how much obviously Luxco has been building up their bourbon brands. And actually, Brandon Rice said it's fascinating since Luxco doesn't do a ton of bourbon. They have at least four bourbon. At least four bourbon lines. There's Rebel Bourbon. There's Ezra Brooks. You have Davies County, and you have Yellowstone. So
Ezra Brooks, I would have said was a dormant brand for a couple of years there. But they've come back, with the 7-year, and they just released the 99 proof or whatever it is.
Right.
Prior to that, you had the Ezra Brooks 12-year with the real kingly bottle with the wax seal on there.
Right.
Maybe with this merger, they'll go back to the wax seals.
Well, also, you have to think that and Brandon did say Blood Oath as well. But they will. The other interesting thing to me is that because they already have this distribution channel, they have the marketing, they have kind of that infrastructure set up. It automatically makes MGP a huge player with those brands that I feel like they could scale them up very quickly. And they have the capital to really put behind. They obviously want this to be a big success. So I think that what they're going to do is quickly escalate the presence of these brands that are already existing and make them a major player and make them, their goal is for them to be in every household, to be household names. And I think that this is the kind of action where MGP can take on the bigger brands, the Old Forester, like the Brown Foreman brands, the Jim Beam brands, even the Buffalo Trace. They can really start competing head to head with them in the marketplace, as opposed to all their barrels going to small non-distiller producers. And I think that that's what makes it interesting. And they obviously, these things don't happen overnight. So all these revamps within like the Lux Row brands have been probably with this in mind, right? Or as a part of it, like if you're making these steps, that's in good faith and we're going to, yada, yada. And how often have I recently been talking about the Rebel Distillers Collection store pick? And now you're seeing people get the Ezra Brooks store picks, the Distillers Collection. And this is an elevated offering, I feel like, from them. And we're seeing people start to talk about them. It's already starting to work. I feel like these brands are getting more attention than they were a year ago. And now with this announcement, having the money behind it and having the whiskey behind it as well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. So this may be both answers, Will, and you can just tell me what you think. Are they going to immediately take MGP stock, put them into these brands and release them? Are they going to cultivate a new brand and release them through their distribution channels? Or are they mainly going to focus on, let's let that run itself, and we've got this Remus, our own MGP brand, and we're just going to run it through the distribution?
Yeah. So, that isn't clear. We don't know. I think obviously they're buying. They are buying.
That's your question.
No. You
didn't get mad at me when I asked.
No, that's the question I have as well. And we know, like, obviously in the press release, they're talking about that Luxco provides an established platform of extensive operational capabilities and a comprehensive national sales footprint with an attractive portfolio of brands, including Ezra Brooks, Davies County, and Yellowstone. Interesting, they did leave Rebel Bourbon off that list, which I do think was curious. But they are mentioning that, that was part of what was attractive to them. So I think that, yes, we are going to see them continue to build those brands. The question is, what kind of stock is Luxco and Lux Row sitting on? I know they have like rick houses, and do they immediately start mixing in the MGP product, or is it a phased thing? That is an unanswered question that I think everyone wants to know. So
I have a feeling that people are going to ask those questions, and I have a feeling they'll be like, we'll see.
Yeah. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to reach out and just say, hey, obviously the strategy, they're not going to give away too much strategy, but is it going to be an immediate thing? Is it immediately where mash bills and stocks from the merger start coming out from both sites? I think that'd be how I would phrase it. Are we going to immediately see a mingling of whiskey from both distilleries. And so I think that's what, because I'm pretty sure a lot of the Lux Row stocks, and Lux Row is the bourbon brand. They call it Lux Row Distillery. Lux Co is the bigger company, like over that has, the vodka brand. That has everything all under one roof. So I keep like using them interchangeably, but Lux Row specifically would be what we're dealing with when we're talking about their whiskey, and Lux Co is the entire company which is being purchased. So, and that, that has tequila, has Everclear, it has other things mixed in there as well.
Yeah, dude. I'm going to be honest with you. Lux Co is the root of a lot of bad decisions.
Because of Rebel Yell?
Rebel Yell, Everclear, tequila.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Like all of those things, like half of them I can't do anymore.
Mm-hmm. Like
physically, just because if I even look at that, I get upset. There's emotional baggage. There's physical baggage, which I don't know what that means. I know physically my body hurt a few times, but it's fine. We're going to get through it. It's going to be good. I'm just wondering if products that we like, for instance, the Rebel 100 release, the 100 proof Rebel, previously known as Rebel Yell, the Weeder.
The bourbon formerly known as Rebel Yell.
Yes. That Weeder was so good. The 100 proof,
it still is good.
Right. It still is good. Today, right. I just don't understand, like, is it gonna change? It's fine.
Yeah. Is there gonna be pre-MGP?
I'm cool with acquiring brands, and if it's good for whiskey, if it's good for these companies, then it's good with me. You know what I mean?
What you're saying, is it going to be pre-MGP, post-MGP, kind of like pre-fire Heaven Hill?
Oh shoot! Are we about? Is Rebel Yell 100 and all the other releases, are they in Everclear? Are people going to start stockpiling Everclear?
I don't think they are. That's just great
OG Everclear.
This is 1983 Everclear. It's, oh my gosh, like you black out so quick. You black out so quick.
This is the 83 Everclear.
You have it right there.
Right here. In your right here, or at least 65% of it.
I do want to say shout out to our buddy Troy, who's a patron, and he just commented because we shared the link in Patreon, and he just said he's streaming while working. So hello there, Troy. We always love to get your feedback and comments, and glad you're watching while you're working. Eric, our buddy, said the only thing I'm hearing is that if I had hit the Powerball, I could have bought Luxco. So when you put it in those, when you put it in that context,
Although, I mean, if it's $1 billion, golly, you're looking at, you could definitely have done that, and you would have had a cool $200 million just to float the company for a little while you run it into the daggum ground.
Yeah. I would have liked to see Eric's business plan for his newly acquired distillery.
My business plan, you know what my business plan would be? Shut it down, all of it, and let's drink. That's what I would say.
That is a $475 million party.
Right. If you want to go down in history books, like if you want 8th grade kids reading about, Grease shutting down 2 distilleries.
What's the second one?
MGP and Luxco. You would shut them both down.
You could not purchase MGP for that valuation.
No, I'm saying I would already own it. Oh, never mind. You win the Powerball, you can only buy one. You can't buy MGP for that. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
They got too much stuff. But yeah, I would. I mean, let me go ahead and I took Georgia history in 8th grade.
Uh-huh.
I guess that wouldn't be Georgia history. I guess that'd be, I don't know, in Kentuckiana.
Well, Grease, once again, MGP is not a part of this.
Oh,
Yeah, like once again, it's just you, bud, and
Right.
let's go at this
Here's the
point.
deal, dude. Whiskey history, though. I feel like if you're doing Kentucky history in 8th grade, I feel like distillery talk, you'll just get lost in the mix. Like I don't think you're going to be able to stay. Well, I don't know. Depends on how good that party is.
Well, here's also how we'll know how quickly stuff starts getting mixed in, product wise, is when they start adding distilled in Indiana to the bottles. I mean, that's a very quick answer that, because like obviously this Rebel Distillers collection for this single barrel says distilled and aged in Kentucky for Lux Row Distillers, Bardstown, Kentucky. So as soon as that doesn't say distilled in Kentucky, we know that something is afoot, that
Dude,
it's no longer just that whiskey.
I'm going to dedicate the next 4 days of my life to not sleeping, and all I'm going to do is refresh that TTB website.
Hey, should I save this for you to do a killing it with grease?
Yeah,
because there's just a little bit left of it.
I need some things for it.
Yeah,
I started a little box here of stuff. I got a Buffalo Trace pick. I got a Jack Daniels. So World's Greatest Dad. I'm excited about this one because I actually got this from my brother-in-law.
Nice.
But I got that bottle when he asked me to be in his what. This one's going to be a bad night.
Yeah, you maybe should have a little bit of a pour of that tonight to get it closer to where you need it to be.
All right.
For your but Sarah Beth on here said, I'd love to see Grease do an episode of Drunk History. And I think I'd have to counter that, Sarah Beth, is that Grease wouldn't be very entertaining because he needs to have at least a little bit of grasp of the facts before he can greasify them. And a lot of times, not a lot of times, 99% of the time, he doesn't have a grasp of the facts yet to try to greasify. He just goes loaded for bear on some crazy story about sharks that don't exist.
I don't know what batch that was of Stag Jr., but it's high.
What was the proof on it?
I don't know. I didn't look.
You had it right. I mean,
you told me to take it out of the box and have a sip of it, so I did. I took it to the daggum face. I pre-killed it.
And then where did you put it?
I put it right back in the box.
And then where's the box? It shouldn't be
right here at my feet. Just by the way, everybody out there that's watching, that's listening, you have to understand that it might look all put together right here, but at my feet looks like a dadgum treasure chest in kindergarten. That's all it looks like.
Oh,
and
hey.
You don't know what I'm talking about when I say treasure chest in kindergarten. In kindergarten, when you didn't have to move your clip or put your name up on the board with some check marks and you actually got to enjoy recess as a child, 50-50 chance when I was in elementary school.
I love that Grease said recess as a child as though recess as an adult is a thing.
Yes. Yeah. Field day, adult field day. Dude, we have Whiskey Weekend, and it's essentially summer camp for adults. You're acting like we don't do recess at Whiskey Weekend. We recess.
No, we do not, Grease. You
fire out of it.
You jam pack the schedule so there is no recess.
Not this year. Nothing's happening before noon. That's for dadgum sure.
All right, hey, our buddy ADHD Whiskey.
I'll be shirtless with Bob Little.
Our buddy ADHD Whiskey is watching. Should we tease something, Grease?
Yes. I'm telling you, the floor looks like a dadgum. It looks like a petri dish for dadgum, I don't know, bacteria. Except it's bottles. You couldn't grow bacteria on this floor. That's for dadgum sure. This stuff will scare the dadgum paint off shingles.
I disagree. So we've been obviously putting up more content on YouTube, and we're doing this live show. Done it for 2 weeks now. We're not going to do every episode this way, but we're going to do it for a few weeks, just for fun. We've been getting a lot of good feedback about it, but I only have a certain level of tolerance of my anxiety when Grease starts talking live to people. But that being said,
you're letting me do another live.
We're going to do a new show that we're going to do live on YouTube called Drinking With. And it's going to be where we get together with a buddy online in kind of this format. And it's not really an interview. It's not like that. It's literally just us getting together and drinking with people we want to drink with. And one of those people is our buddy Matt, ADHD Whiskey, and we're going to have him on this Friday, right?
Yep, this Friday.
And we're also, he's going to be kind enough to let us be on his show as well. We're going to kind of split the time that night on Friday night, but it's our first one's going to be Drinking with ADHD Whiskey. And it's going to be just very conversational, hanging out, having drinks, talking about why we like whiskey, why we're in it, and just chilling. And so he's actually going to be the first guest, and he's on here. So that was kind of a fun little tease. This is really the first announcement that we've done of it as well.
Yeah, we teased the series in our email, which,
Correct.
by the way, if you want to sign up for our email list, I highly recommend it. You can go to thepodcast.com, scroll to the bottom. You'll see this little place where you can enter your email. It's fabulous. I'm excited about it. Melissa Shriver joined our team, and she's helping us with that, and also some merch fulfillment and Patreon fulfillment and stuff like that. She's great. She's crushing it. We're very excited. But Matt, ADHD Whiskey, his story is incredible. So while it's not an interview, we're still hanging out, and we're still going to be talking.
Yeah, we're telling stories to each other. We're learning more about each other. We're hanging out with friends like you do.
Exactly.
I love that you're explaining how you hang out with friends as though you need like a refresher.
I don't know. If I'm being 110% honest, Will, I have kind of forgotten how to hang out with friends. The last time I hung out with friends was in my basement during Southern Whiskey Society in the summer. That didn't happen.
Right.
People just still came into town. And
you don't hang out. You don't hang out with me.
I loved it.
You
potentially had COVID that night. You could not come.
I did not have COVID that night.
Well, I thought you had it. Or I thought you could.
I didn't. I was potentially exposed to. That is correct. That is right. You're right. You're right.
Well, we wanted you to stay away. We appreciate that.
Couple things. Our buddy Louis Keene on here, he wanted us to also mention, which he's correct, is that Matt should be stated is the world's top whiskey taster, recently crowned by Bartone Burton. Yep.
I've got it. I've got the thumbnail ready.
Yes. Couple other things. Matt says, I can't wait. Will is going to ruin all of our fun, guaranteed. Well,
yeah, he keeps
saying I'm canceling it, dum-dum. And then can there be two dum-dums in one show? Probably. Yeah. Mama Marsha wants to know what time Friday. Grease, do you have the time?
It is 8 p.m. Central. So Mama Marsha, you're in California. You're going to be 6 p.m. So you get home, okay? You pour yourself a nice beverage, maybe skip dinner, or heck, maybe get the pizzas delivered early, okay? Get a good foundation, get a good base, okay? All right? And make sure they cook the whole thing, because I'm going to be honest with you. I had a half-baked pizza the other day, and it fell flat. And I know pizzas are normally flat. I'm saying the taste fell flat. It was not good. It was kind of crispy in the middle, but not in a good way. You need to be careful about that. Order you some pizzas. Come on in. Put it on the old YouTubes on your TV. You can do that by doing like an HDMI signal out to it. Highly recommended. We look great in 4K on the big screen, on the big TV. Or you could watch it on your phone. You're not going to be able to hear real good on your phone. That's just a thing.
Also, this is January 29th. Just to clarify, if you're watching this at some other time.
Oh, yeah.
But if it's after January 29th?
January 29th of 2021.
Right.
We all know that some people show up late to the party. We got people sending us emails like, I just found you guys. I've just binge listened to 5 years.
Right. But
content.
If you go to youtube.com/thepodcast, you'll be able to find it. It'll be a Drinking With show. Like if it's after January 29th, 2021, you missed it live, it will be there. Dustin is asking, wait, so y'all are live on Friday night? Yes, this Friday night we will be live.
Yeah, we sure are.
There was a couple other. There was one. Our buddy Taylor Eckern is on here, so I want to give a shout out to him.
Whoa.
And say hello.
Whoa.
And so, hey, buddy, we miss you. Good to hear from you. And then this is a good one because this is from Cody. And he says, wouldn't weekends be the adult recess? And I counter that with, Cody, not if you got kids. There is no recess on the weekends with children. And Grease and I do have children. Okay. So it is not adult recess on the weekends. Clint had the better response and said this, like currently, is adult recess, like the podcast.
Oh, like right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is adult recess.
Okay, are we? What? No.
How's it not adult recess? We're just hanging out, having fun.
Because, Will, I don't feel like I'm sitting here scoping out like the swings, seeing if my girlfriend's going to come over there and introduce her to another dude that's in another class. I was very protective as a kid at the recess.
Have you sought professional help for this?
It was like a gang situation, I think. Like, I mean, not really. I mean, I'm not. No, it wasn't. I'm retracting that statement. I saw your face. I saw your face. I'm just saying.
Just for that?
I'm
drinking it all.
Oh, really? I hear. I don't even know what that was. That was a Four Roses pick. I don't know where it went. It's in the cesspool treasure trunk in my feet. No, I mean, dude, did you not try to like mob boss recess when you were a kid?
No.
That was like the best game ever. It's like, can I make like $100 during recess? That's what I tried to do every day.
First of all, Grease, that's where you're wrong. You thought you were mob bossing it. You were just some like foot soldier on the street peddling cigarettes to other children. I was the mob boss. I didn't need to play any of your games.
That sounds.
I was the one holding the strings.
Put me in charge of peddling cigs, man.
I mean,
outside of prison.
It's pretty much the only thing you're good at.
Right. I can negotiate a smoke, dude. You know what I mean?
You can.
Right.
It's the God's honest truth.
I got $5. Can I bum one? And they're like, yeah.
You're not the greatest negotiator, but you always close the deal.
Oh, I close every deal I come across. It's not pretty.
Like thinking back about those times I've witnessed those transactions with you at events, at parties, at whatever, at bars. I think, why have I ever let you make purchases for the show?
Why have we not talked about the Irish pub? I'm not going to say where or when. Why have we not talked about that story?
I don't think we have enough time tonight. I think we need to tease that.
We need to tease that one. I completely forgot about it. And that evening, there is a very similar video of me ranting for an hour in your hotel room. Very much like Whiskey Weekend Batch 2 in Bob Little's, Dustin's, and Ian's room.
History repeats itself.
I'm just like I'm like an every 5-year repeater.
Yeah.
Typically, like Rome, the United States. There's a bigger gap there. You know what I'm talking about?
Look at you. Look at you.
Right. Well, I just know that you always win in Rome. So I know Rome's important in history. And I know that they fell. And then I also know that the only way we can really fall is, down. You can't fall up.
Can't fall up.
You can't fall up. That's why it's not called Fall Up Boy. That's the truth, dude. Take that one to
Fall Out Boy.
Take that one to Wachovia, now Wells Fargo. Rest in peace, Wachovia.
I know. I miss Wachovia. I was a Wachovia banker.
Yeah, I miss Wachovia too. Let me go ahead and tell you something. Wells Fargo, for about a half a second, we're like, we kind of own the Wachovia name. Should we transition? Because we really burned a lot of people. I had random accounts open that I didn't know about. They gave me like $5 an account.
Yeah.
They were like, hey, man, sorry, dude. Here, go get you a $5 foot long.
Yeah.
Which I did. And honestly, I tweeted them and I said I was thankful and appreciative. And, I think you should be thankful and appreciative at times, even when a bank may or may not
defraud you.
Right.
You want to go to the 15?
Yeah. You're going to have to explain to me what we're doing for the 15 because typically we drink the same thing. Do we have something that's the same?
Well, let me explain how this evening went.
Did you get a CYPB?
Let me explain how this evening went. I said, Grease, last week was great because we had there was a little bit of a plan. Like we had something planned out of how to go. And he goes, love it. I love where your head's at. Yeah, we should do that again. So then he was, at first, we were going to go live at 8. And then he was like, we should do 8:30. So we pushed back to 8:30. He said, hey, but get on there at 8:15 and we're going to plan for 15 minutes we're going to plan this show out.
I did say that.
And then I was on here at 8:15, and Grease was on here at 8:25, 5 minutes before we go live. And I didn't really speak to him until 2 minutes before he live. And he goes, "Hey, what are we talking about?" Just like that. So we didn't get to plan that. But here's what we're going to do. We are both going to do our own independent. No, don't do that.
Why can't I do that? Why can't I do this?
Because you drank it last week.
I did.
Yes.
Okay. Was that after I pounded 8 bottles of whiskey live?
Well, clearly. But what we're going to do is we're going to all each do our own 15 tonight. We're going to not have the same content. That's a water bottle.
Right, but it's Dickel water. I feel like there's a place for that, Will.
No. So what we're going to do is we're going to each do our own. Grease is going to do something. I'm going to do something. I told him to try to do something that he has not done on the 15, and I'm going to do something here on the 15. So we're going to hit the music, and Grease, if you're listening to the podcast version, if you're not, you're going to get to talk to me for a minute live. But we're going to hit the music and come back from the 15 right now. All right, while Grease picks out what he is going to do, I'm going to read some of these comments.
Bro. Yeah. Killing it with Grease.
Yeah.
Uda Musk.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Y'all that don't know. Okay, while we're paused right now on our real show. Because this is a fake one.
No. You need to go pick your whiskey, Grease, for the 15.
This is Uda Musk.
I understand. No,
they
go
flavor
back.
this thing with the. I don't. What can I say? Can I?
It's secretions of the anal gland of a beaver. It's
okay,
fine.
So you can't say anal. Okay,
Grace,
I just want to make sure.
Hey, do you remember we did a whole show with that? And Joe B didn't talk to us for about 3 months afterwards because he was mad.
Right.
Hey, do cornbread from Southern Whiskey Society.
Oh, great idea.
Mr. Keene gave us that idea. Gave you that. Hey, I could do that too.
Really?
Well, I was going to do something different, but I could do that.
Okay, my issue is that I have one open and I need to find that one. Because I have one that's sealed and I only got 2. And I picked the damn barrel.
Do you want me to answer me before you yell again? Do you want me to do that as well, or do you want me to do something different?
No, let's do it together.
All right, I'm gonna go grab mine.
These are hard to find, dude. Only 58 bottles. This was a short barrel. Will and I were lucky enough to get 2 each, which is nice because we picked the barrel. But it was a short barrel. We use this for Southern Whiskey Societies. You know, the weird history behind this barrel is that when we tried this at Willett,
I wasn't there.
They didn't tell us that, oh, by the way, when we thieved this out.
Hey, maybe you should save like content.
Yeah.
Hey, also folks, we're about to come back, but if y'all want to ask any questions, feel free to in the chat. Also give it a like if you're watching live. If you're actually not watching live, give it a like. But gosh, it'd be fun. Go ahead and give it a like and what else? Ask questions or anything you want to.
All right.
Oh shoot. I just poured like 3 ounces. Good to know where 4 of the 58 went, Dustin.
Okay, I need to address
Dustin.
People are putting in the daggum chat right now. But, oh, that's the bottle.
Dustin. Guess what, bud?
The barrel.
We put in more work,
and we only got 2 bottles that we had to pay for. It wasn't even like we got them for free, because that's just not how business works. I've tried to work that out. I've sauntered into Buffalo Trace and be like, hey, I know we're picking, a Weller. You want to give me some of those bottles for free?
All right, you want to come back from the 15?
Yeah, I sure do.
And we're back from the 15. So we had a suggestion actually from one of our YouTube watchers, viewers, and someone who has hopefully liked and subscribed to the channel. But it's from, I think it's, you ever have problems when you see the word Louis and don't know if we're talking about Louis or Lewis?
Yeah.
That's the situation now. I always defer to Louis. Every time.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I've only known 2 Lewises in my life, and let me go ahead. Dude, they threw down hard, okay? So I feel like if they're named Lewis, we're going to know beforehand.
Sure.
Just out of pure reputation standards.
Yeah.
If we haven't heard of them prior to the conversation, we're going to roll with Louis.
So I'm going to call him Mr. Keen because I can pronounce that one. So we've got, he said, hey, do the Southern Whiskey Society pick cornbread? And, he said it is Lewis. So sorry.
Oh,
my apologies. Also, we now know where we stand with him because he throws down.
Oh, Mr.
Yeah.
King.
Yeah.
You might want to try to attend Whiskey Weekend.
Yeah. I don't know if we can handle him.
Well, that's where all Lewises go.
That's true.
We're all Lewises at Whiskey Weekend. Quote that. Actually, we're not. There's I don't know. There's Michelle's and Dustin's and Marshall's.
We're about to ban Dustin Peed from the channel. Just
what
saying.
Is happening?
I don't know. He's being sassy, and we don't need his negativity here. All right,
Man,
so
he's not going to get to try it. Whatever.
So we're back from the 15. We have a suggestion by Lewis to have the Willett Family Estate Single Barrel Bourbon Cornbread. This was from the 2019 Southern Whiskey Society. This was a controversial bottle because it yielded only 58. And that is not many.
And when we picked, here's the deal. Will wasn't there. I was there. When we picked it with Willett,
it was the day before Whiskey Weekend Batch 1 started, or the day of it starting, and I was behind you a few hours.
Something incredible about that day was that we went in there and we tried 4 ryes and we tried 4 bourbons, and we were going to walk away with a rye and a bourbon. I immediately picked the rye that was a winner. I fought on it, and it ended up being collard greens. It was incredible. The next one I picked was cornbread, which was a bourbon. Those were our number one. However, there was what we ended up calling sweet tea and collard greens. Collard greens was the only one that was a rye that I didn't pick that one. That somebody else was like, oh, I like that one. However, what was crazy was we were in the middle.
I think you mean shuck beans.
What'd I say?
Collard greens.
Oh, yeah, shuck beans. What was collard greens? Collard greens.
The rye you did like.
Yeah. Collard greens.
So dumb.
The one I liked. Anyway, so we're mid picking these barrels, and Chris just happens to ask, like, I mean, what if we like more than one, Drew? Like, what does that mean? And Drew's just like, I mean, because he was picking these barrels and like a lot of the money was going to charity and all this other stuff. Drew really loved that. And he was just like, I mean, it sounds like y'all might be able to walk away with, I don't know, 4 barrels if you wanted them. And we were like, what the crap? Anyway, good thing we did, because those jokers didn't tell us that daggum cornbread thieved a quarter of the barrel. I mean, with a 6-year stock, I guess is a bourbon. I think it was a 5-year bourbon. At that age, typically, if there's not much leaking, you're probably going to pull what, 180-ish to 200 bottles out of a barrel.
Yeah, it's only 6-year-old whiskey,
right? There's going to be some good stock there. Like we had a 23-year-old Willett at Whiskey Weekend Batch 1 with Dixon, and it had a similar bottle count. That's
it had 8. No, it had 80 something. So it had like 50% more almost.
Right. So I mean, you're looking at a 23-year-old bourbon that retained more liquid than this 5-year did. Okay. And they didn't tell us. So yes, there's some controversy around this barrel because there was 100 tickets because they told us on average 175 bottles will come out of these barrels. Now, with that knowledge, he was going to sell 100 tickets for this bottle, and then that leaves 75 for me to take a case, for Will to take a case, Chris to take a case. Because we pick these barrels.
Grease gets real inside baseball so quick it makes me uncomfortable.
What happened? What'd I do?
You give so many specific details.
Well, all I'm saying, we didn't have the stock to do that because it's a short barrel and there's 58 bottles.
So right? Yeah, you could have told it a lot quicker without it's like I think you protest too much.
Why do I feel like the word protest is not? You use it differently than I do.
So anyhow, where we're at is that it was a 58 yield. It was very short. And it caused a lot of controversy because of that. So here's where we're at. It is 124.8 proof. It is barrel number 2136. It is 6-year-old bourbon, and it's called Cornbread.
Oh, shoot. I just poured this birthday boy's pick. We're supposed to be doing cornbread.
What are you doing?
I don't know. I shot it. It's fine. We're gonna do the cornbreads. I did cornbread to my face. Here's the deal. I just shot some Four Roses, so this is gonna give me a good base on if this cornbread's good or not, because I freaking love Four Roses.
What?
Okay. Cornbread, sweet baby Jesus. It's good. It's really good, Will. I wish it wasn't.
It smells like just like a daggum cherry blow pop.
Plum.
I get cherry blow pop.
Dark fruit. Cherry blow. Okay, well, it's kind of that could be kind of like cherry Robitussin-y. But I agree. There's cherries. There's just dark, rich fruit. Oh gosh, it's freaking great, dude. I don't even have to buy bar pass this crap. I'm ISO. I wonder what that bottle goes for on the secondary. I'm sorry I mentioned it. I'm sorry I said the blasphemy word.
It doesn't exist, Chris. I mean, what'd I call you? Grease. Oh. It doesn't exist on that.
I'm cool with it. Chris is a good looking dude.
I agree. I think this is all I have left.
I mean, dude, I know I say I would bathe in whiskey a lot. Multiple expressions, but I mean, 58 bottles, you're not going to be able to draw a sufficient bath, but dadgum, you'll have fun freaking doing dadgum whiskey angels in that bath. You know what I'm talking about? Like the snow angels, but with whiskey and water or whatever it is.
I really like this. It's actually gotten better now that it's gotten more airtime. It was a little bit aggressive. It wasn't round. The edges weren't rounded out well at the beginning for me. Now it has
on a fresh crack. Okay, so now
no. I mean, honestly, halfway through the bottle, I would say that it wasn't. It was a little bit too aggressive. And I don't mean like alcohol. I mean the flavors weren't. They were chiseled.
Dude, you got to let whiskey take advantage of you from time to time, Will.
I would say.
You can't be calling it out and be like, you're so aggressive. You need to back up. No, you should be like, dude, freaking pound me right now, aggressive whiskey. That's what you should be telling it. Telling it like, oh, it's aggressive.
This is why we don't go live. I would say that I'm trying to give my folks, this is where we get to the point every time where I have to be like, Grease, let me freaking talk. So I had sweet tea last night, and I quit. I'm done.
No, I'm just counting how many seconds.
You're not on my good side. You're not on my good side. You're not on this is the last time we're doing it.
Every side of you is a good side, Will.
No, we're done. Just give your buy bar pass. I don't even care anymore.
It's a buy. Go ahead.
Now, why? Why do I care to talk between you and Dustin P down in the chat who spread negativity like he's Johnny Appleseed? Why do I do this? Why am I even here?
Because you're the voice of daggum reason, and you actually bring facts to the table.
Well, my voice needs to be heard and not cut off every 5 seconds if you want me to continue, Grace.
We should run the tape back and see.
You wouldn't let me finish my words. I'm upset. Y'all can tell that. Well, now I don't like when you're like patronizing. Like, I just want you to be a normal human being.
Don't hear it. They don't hear that.
I want you to be a normal human being.
You can cut the gaps. You can cut the dash in the middle, Will, if you want to.
I would like to cut the dash out of your middle.
Me too, because I'm being honest with you.
It's aggressive.
I put on weight right here. I mean, it's just all right here. It's like spare tire city.
All right. If I could mute you, I would. So what I would say is that it has benefited from being open for a little bit of time. Of the two, I think sweet tea was better. I still do, but I think that the airtime has kind of rounded this out, and it's got a lot of cherry on the nose. It's very sweet, which is odd because the sweet tea you'd think would be the sweeter one, but I think it has more leather to it, which I'm into. So I would say, obviously, if you can buy these at retail, the single barrel picks of these Willett family estates, I mean, they're still not cheap. They're pretty pricey for 6-year-old whiskey, but I think that they're a buy. They're good. They're well crafted. They're really delicious. These have been great. And it does seem to be that their new model is going to be more to the distributors, sending single barrels to distributors to then send out to stores, as opposed to more store picks and selected by stores. So that's going to be interesting to going forward, because I feel like more people will have an opportunity to get them. And I like that. I always like more opportunity for more people to get things. So
have you done sweet tea?
I had it last night.
So
I texted
comparing sweet tea versus cornbread, you're exactly right. There's way more leather to sweet tea. However, the cornbread has it's a lot more rye spice present.
Yes,
and I would agree with that. I can't remember what the mash bill was for that particular one. But it is way more spicy. If you go back to the sweet tea, it's definitely, way less rye present, 100%. So I think I feel like we probably called it sweet tea because compared to the two, sweet tea just felt more sweet, which is actually, and Dixon has said this before, it's like, when you taste sweetness in whiskey, it's really just the absence of rye. Okay. And I think that's a really cool way of thinking about it. Because you can actually like, oh man, I'm getting a ton on the front here, which is probably a more sweetness dominated flavor palette profile. And so you're actually just essentially tasting the absence of rye, because rye is going to hit you kind of more on the back mid palate. Anyway, I just think it's interesting. I know why we called it sweet tea now going back to it, but cornbread is freaking fire, dude.
Our buddy Preston says he freaking loves his sweet tea. I agree with that 100%. They both were great. I honestly think, though, the people that shifted over to sweet tea, if you were to head compare them, I give the nod to the sweet tea, I think. But they're both great.
I'm opposite. I give the nod to cornbread. However, I completely agree with you. Sweet tea is an incredible whiskey. It's got the wow factor,
and you have like
so young to have a wow factor like that. It's Willett, obviously they have a great reputation of being Oh wow, poor. I mean,
You have a
that's
lesser palate as well, so.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Everybody knows this, Will. You don't have to drive in your dadgum Will Facts or wax, as I like to call.
You want some wax?
Hey, Will, give me the facts. Give me the wax. That is so stupid, but great. I feel like I need that.
JC, who's watching, he had an incredible question that I can't answer off the fly, but he said he's about to do the Appalachian Trail and he wanted to know if there's any distilleries along the way. That's something we could research and maybe get back to you on, but don't know off the top of my head because that's not something Grease and I don't know if you've seen us.
I feel like that's
something
a
we're about to go
liability
do. Yeah.
Like these jokers are daggum trying to walk. They're essentially walking.
Yeah.
From they're walking confidently or not confidently through rivers and hungry bears from northeast Georgia all the way to daggum. Where does it end? Like New York City or something?
Maine, maybe?
Maine?
I don't know. I've never done it.
Dude, you don't. I mean, you don't want to do that up there during wintertime.
Yeah, that's why you got to plan it the right way.
Right. You need to start like, I don't know, like February. How long does it take you to walk from freaking northeast Georgia to Maine?
Just sprint, man.
I feel like that's a Siri question.
Hey, here's
How long
another.
does it take you to walk from Georgia to Maine?
JC also wanted to know, he would love to hear our bottom 5 at some point.
Oh,
now I try to get Grease to stay away from being. I try to stay away from Grease from being super negative. I like to be positive, and sometimes he drives me. What are you doing? I don't like to like dog on people if we don't really like it. Like people are trying their hardest, so I think sometimes we just for me, I'm like, let's just not talk about it. And there's a couple that we've told like brands, we're like, we're not, it's like the old, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And we've told a couple brands essentially that a couple times. They're like, hey, this ain't for us. So we're not going to have your guy on because we're not going to say like super nice things afterwards.
Yeah, we kind of have to tell people that. There's been a few things. Here's the deal though. Going back to the
Schnucks. Kevin is right. Schnucks is number 1. Bottled in fraud.
Schnucks can just
GTH.
Yeah. So here's the deal. Along the Appalachian Trail, I'm pretty sure you'll pass some distilleries. I just don't know if they're going to be licensed.
That is fair.
Right.
That is you're guaranteed to.
Right. Because I feel like West Virginia, specifically West Virginia, so mid-trip.
Yeah. So I've got the perfect thing because this is Mama Marcia says BYOB on the Appalachian Trail. What would you bring? And I've got the perfect thing. You ready for this?
I don't think that's what you want to do. I think that's weight.
No, just why you always got to be a contrarian, Grease?
I would just bring a firearm.
I would say take Rebel Yell while you're south of the Mason-Dixon. And then once you hit West Virginia, go seek out some local shine.
Right.
That's my BYOB experience on the Appalachian Trail.
Actually,
you only have to plan for half the trip.
The last moonshine that I acquired was that blackberry moonshine. It was like 160 proof. It was something stupid. And it was from a sheriff from West Virginia. I mean, they just do it right out there, bro. They don't give a rip. And I love that about them. I mean, they're all related, but I love it about them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They don't care. I think they get away with that kind of stuff just because they all are related and they don't want to rat on family, which I appreciate. Because the last thing I want to do is rat on Mama Grease.
Well, she's done enough to be ratted on. Eric Greenway did say that we already have some Appalachian pie shine.
Whoa. He sent us a care package.
Yeah, I have a jar full. I mean, someone did. I don't know who did.
I forgot about that daggum stuff, dude.
Yep.
Can we do that on the next show? That's whiskey.
Sure, might as well.
I feel like the next podcast, can we do podcast live more often? I know you're like, oh, dude,
sure.
like
If you'll learn to converse a little bit better in the back half after you're sassy.
Okay, I don't think that you're using the word converse.
I am.
I use the word converse.
No, you're thinking of Converse All-Stars. That's different. I'm talking about talking.
Right. What was the other word you used earlier that was just not right?
STFU. Is that it?
No.
Oh,
I know what that word means.
Okay.
I don't know. There was another word that you said, and I was like, I don't think you use that word the same way I do that word. Protest.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to need to, here's the deal. Next time, 8:15, we need to be here. We need to be ready so that we can converse about what protests mean.
I was here.
You were.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's fine.
This cornbread's great.
It is great.
Oh,
I mean, I'm a huge cornbread fan. Are you kind of like a dry or sweet cornbread fan? Like, are you like kind of heavy butter?
Dry or sweet? Are you using like wine terms? Would you prefer your cornbread dry, or would you like a sweet?
So when I have like a dry cornbread, it's not
dry. Do you put sugar in it like a Yankee? Apart. You talking about like a Yankee putting sugar in it?
No, I don't want to put. I don't put sugar in it. We put it in a skillet and it burns the bottom and the sides, and it's just got a crap ton of butter in there. And that's the way, but I consider that a dry cornbread. I just call it a dry cornbread.
Dry. I have a dry martini with my.
It's more like I guess substitute the word dry for savory, Will. We're potlucking, dude.
No, you don't put sugar in your cornbread unless you're from like Minnesota.
I did not even mention the words sugar.
You said sweet. That's because people put sugar in their cornbread.
I'm asking you if you like sweet versus dry.
I was offended by the premise, to be quite frank.
I don't think you and I use the word premise the same.
No. The fact you had to ask is quite unfortunate.
Premise.
This has been great.
This has been great. Do you know the past tense for partake is partook? And we partook the crap out of this tonight.
Yeah, we did. It was kind of fun.
I love it when we partook.
Cody just said, I sprinkle salt on my cornbread just so there ain't a blank question about it not having sugar.
That's a pretty good idea. Like if you're just like
Cody's from Alabama, he's a good boy. I like him.
That's just like going to a daggum restaurant in Florida and be like, yeah, go ahead and bring me some melted sugar water because I'm going to need it.
Eric just said, like, I'm tossing the Yankee world around. Is that offensive? We not allowed to say that now? 2021?
I feel like everybody's upset. Yeah, you can't say, I don't think you can say Yankee.
Oh, I didn't know.
Unless you're talking about baseball.
Oh.
No,
Mama Marsha's like,
can't even say that baseball. That's a good crap team.
Mama Marsha's like, man, it's just starting to get good.
Yeah. I'm not even wearing any pants.
That's the best part of this. Also, you're live because we saw you walk back there to get that box of stuff, and you had your acid washed gray jeans on.
You're completely dead wrong.
Oh, what do you have on?
I have on blue navy boxers.
Really?
And I pulled out a string or an elastic string earlier. And if you run the tape back, I actually hold it up and I'm stretching it because I don't know. I'm on a diet right now. And so like all my clothes are just like, what the crap's going on, dude? Like one day you're just like, let's freaking pound that double cheeseburger biscuit from Hardee's. And then the next day you're like, I'll take the Sierra chicken bowl from Freshly. Okay. My body is completely confused. Okay. And when your body gets confused, your clothes follow suit. What happens to your clothes when they get confused? They literally start deteriorating because they don't know what else to do. They're like, well, I'm done. I'm just going to start falling apart so that somebody addresses the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room is for the daggum simple fact of I don't know what your body shape is anymore. And it's basically a condescending tone from your clothes to your body. And if you haven't gone through that, then you've never been through your 30s. Because let me go ahead and tell you what happens in your 30s. Let me go ahead and tell you what happens in your 30s. You get into your 30s and you're like, man, dude, freaking 30s freaking rule. And then you're like, next thing you know, you're 3 kids deep. You can't show up for a podcast taping at 8:15 to pregame because you got to daggum do bath time and you got to do hair and you got to do the daggum curl cream, because if you don't do curl cream, your kid's hair is just going to get all kinds of rat nest crazy the next day, and it's just all going to be null and void. And then you're going to get the weird look from your teacher like, dude, do you even care about your daughter? She comes in here with a daggum rat's tail nest freaking hair every day. Like, do you even care about what the answer is yes. It's just a crap ton to manage. And I can't figure it out. It's fine. But anyway, in your mid-30s, okay?
And all that is to say, that's why weekends are not recess for parents.
Right, but Whiskey Weekend is 1,000% recess. That's 1,000% recess.
I would say
get more adult recess than freaking Whiskey Weekend.
Whiskey Weekend is adult recess gone sideways.
You talking about like landscape, like on a phone?
No, I mean like
you film that way.
I mean, like the teacher had an emergency and just abandoned the children.
Okay, I feel like there's a lawsuit there. We want to avoid lawsuits.
Well, we're not the teacher.
Who's the teacher?
She left.
So we don't even know.
Don't know. She's already been forgotten.
This is deep, dude. So you're telling me that there was a teacher and she left, and some people either got Men in Black flashed.
No, I'll tell you who the teacher was. The teacher was Dixon, and we've seen him just up and vanish.
I have seen that. You know what I've also seen up and vanish? A daggum goat. On property. I would have fought that daggum thing, except that you tagged me in a video the other day, or somebody tagged me in a video the other day of a daggum goat. And let me go ahead and tell you something. That goat, zero chance I get within 100 feet of that daggum thing. That thing had muscles in its calf that could literally stare my soul into a hole. I'm talking about like I'm not pro. That's a dumb way of saying that. Like I don't think I'm a miner. You know what I mean? Like I don't like to get. I don't like mining.
Oh, but like in the occupational sense, not in the age sense. Miner with an ER, not OR.
ER.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't want to. Yeah, that could be weird if I use the OR that way. This is an ER. I'm not a big miner. And so, but if I saw that daggum goat coming at me, let me go ahead and tell you something. What I would learn real quick, I'd learn how to mine in a daggum cave somewhere, so that I could get away from that goat. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to get into the semantics of how you spell mine and goat and Dixon.
All right, folks, this has been a heck of an episode. This has been a live to remember, and because it's probably the last one. Honestly, if I rewind it,
we've got at least one more.
Yeah, Friday with Matt from ADHD Whiskey, the world's top whiskey taster. That'll be a train wreck, because I feel like it'll be me wrestling with 2 greases in one night.
Matt is a very funny guy. He's got a great, like, if you watch his videos, he's got an incredible cadence to his voice. Like he's got his delivery down. He knows exactly, how to deliver and what's funny. I'm excited. I'm just gonna be giddy about it because I really like the dude. He's been a listener for forever. I don't want to give too much away, but he was also the guy that created the Beagle Rare bottle that we did.
That's right.
And we did, actually, it was some of our only YouTube content really early on outside of patrons,
right?
Patron only content. So ADHD Whiskey actually kind of helped us flirt with potentially doing YouTube. So anyway, he's a great dude. He's super funny. His story is incredible. I just want everybody to do this. I want you to go to youtube.com/thepodcast and go hit subscribe and hit the bell. You can uncheck the bell after Friday, but I just want you to I want you to see it live. I want you to come and see it. You'll get a notification on your phone so you don't miss it. His story is so much fun. He's a really cool dude. And right after that, Will and I are going to go over to his channel and burn that mother down. So come and join us. Ow, shoot. I just hit my daggum hand on my computer. I'm fine. I'm not fine. Okay, I'm fine. I'm not fine.
What did you do?
I don't know, but I hit my hand, and then
there was a death spiral.
Yeah, then you went wet. Then you went away.
All right, let me end this show.
Okay, I'm going to let you end it. I feel like you need to edit that a point,
or
maybe not.
All right,
let it ride like in Cards, baby.
All right, folks, thank you so much for watching and listening to the podcast this week. If you are new to the podcast, go to youtube.com/the podcast, subscribe there to get some video content, or go to thepodcast.com and you may listen to the show. We really appreciate it. Rate and review us on iTunes. Follow us on all of the social media platforms you can think of at the podcast, at The Real Grease. Grease, thank you for this. And thank you for all of you that watched us live. And we don't know Jack,
but we'll drink it. Hey, did I completely burn it down, or was it fine?
That's a subjective answer.
Well, okay. Well, I'm pro-objective.
Well,
who can give us an objective answer?
Clearly not Cody, because he keeps being offensive, and I want to block him. He calls me, what's this stupid name he called me?
He calls
Buzz Killington. GTH, Cody. I'm not a buzzkill.
It's Cody. Cody Rhodes?
No, Cody Breeding. I was being very kind to him, and he's being very upset.
Cody, I like Cody Breeding. He's on.
By the way,
him on Instagram and the daggum Facebooks.
Melissa said she moved furniture yesterday, and it was not as awesome as I implied. She said the couch was heavy.
Shriver?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, she's talking about like real furniture, not figurative furniture. She's redoing her daggum freaking hardwood floors. Which, let me go ahead and tell you something, buddy. If you live in Washington State and you've got hardwood floors, let me go ahead and tell you what you should do. Install daggum freaking heaters underneath your floors.
All right. How do you think that went, Grease? I want you to self-evaluate.
That's all I ever do. I self-medicate and self-evaluate. Will.
No, you never self-evaluate. How do you think that went? Scale of 1 to 10 for you.
I think it was pretty daggum great.
Okay.
I didn't follow the chat.
I'd give you a 6. I'd give you a 6.
And that's a case. I'm fine with that.
I want a 10. 10. Give it a 10. I want you to go full on Varsity Blues 10.
Dude. I love that dog.
I think it's a pig.
Yep.
Boom. We still got it, buddy.
We still got it, dude, after all these daggum years. Hey, do you remember what chapter on the DVD? You know what scene is? It's the 1-5. The 15. You just want to skip to the 15.
Why do you think that we call it the 15?
Thank you. I was wondering if we were on the daggum same page for 5 daggum years.
Of course we are.
Golly, I don't even think we could possibly not be on the same page.
Kevin,
with how you say protest.
Kevin said that he thinks this is it had all the feelings of virtual bar night about to take off, like an impromptu.
Oh yeah. Which, by the way, we need to do virtual bar night this week. Will,
here's what you keep doing: you keep taking 3 weeknights.
I understand, Will.
I know.
But when you're doing Killing It with Grease, Will's Weekend Whiskey, Fresh Crack.
It becomes every night.
Drinking with, Town Hall, VBN,
Yeah.
Podcast Live. There's only so many days in a week you got to keep just doing them.
Right.
We only got to do one day a month for VBN.
We do have families.
We do have families. We did a town hall, but we need to do a VBN. We love
those
people.
No, I know. Let's talk offline.
And if people don't understand what a VBN is, you need to saunter on over to patreon.com/the podcast. You need to check out our Patreon levels. Because we daggum do this, but with like people on a daggum Zoom call, and we get to just shoot the crap, shoot the bull, whatever you want to call it, bull crap.
We shoot bull crap.
Yeah, we shoot bull crap.
You literally just put a pile of it and shoot it.
With a daggum 12 gauge. Sometimes the judge, depends on what kind of ammo is cheaper at the time, which is typically 12 gauge. But I mean, I don't want to put 12 gauge in a hole. Last thing you want to do is you want to just corner 12 gauge ammo and put it in the daggum corner and let that daggum stuff fight it out from the corner. You do not want that to happen. Okay? Sure. You want to flirt with that with a daggum 22 caliber? Sure. That's fine. It'll hurt. I don't think it's going to ruin your life. You just start doing that with a daggum 12 gauge shotgun shell. You push that daggum thing in a corner and have it coming out like a daggum rabid Wolverine coming through a daggum barrel. Good luck with that. You lose that battle. 9 times out of 10.
I'm going to go back to tuna. Here's what I'm going to say. Mm-hmm. That's a perfect example of when we're not in the same room, you just go off. And I forget, like, we're still live. Everyone's watching. I just felt like it was you and me. You just go off, and it's like, it's mostly disgrace.
What do you mean go off?
We got to converse. There's got to be give and take. And because when we don't plan, it becomes 100% rant.
Well, no, you just need to not throw out daggum trigger words. You throw out these daggum trigger words that just make me like protest. That word is not that's not how you say that word.
Hey, Grease, I think that you're trying to put this on other people, but you need to look inside and see where you need to do some self-evaluation. You know?
I don't like what I see inside.
I know you don't. We can make it better. Together we can be stronger. We're not fighting, Mama Marsha. We're growing.
I miss Happy Trees.
Yeah.
I miss PBS when it was just Happy Trees. And it was like, I mean, do you want to mix green with yellow?
So, Grease, you and I just need to hang with Eric Smith and put on some vinyl and just take a trip down memory lane. Circa early
2000 theory, or are we talking like
yeah, August and Bethany, my friend? Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Hotel Year, freaking brand
new, hot water music,
Bone Thugs and Harmony.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm down with it.
I love some Bone Thugs, dude.
I'm
not gonna lie.
I saw Bone Thug at the Pike House and it got shut down.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Well, I've been to third base with Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Well, I mean, like them playing, yes.
Yeah. I mean,
I've never heard someone speak so quickly. They can rap so very quickly.
What?
Bone Thug. You kidding me? Grease clearly isn't a Bone Thug fan.
No, I thought we were on a different page with what we were talking about. I'm 99% sure. It's fine.
All right, folks. That's going to do it. We're getting off of here. Thank you all for watching. We'll do more lives because they're fun.
Yes, we will. No, I love you. I wish we were doing an Eagle Rare Neat right.
No, I would not. I would abandon ship.
Let's just go ahead and do another one, dude. I'll freaking drink the crap out of Eagle Rare. I will literally.
I tried to see how I could literally leave the chat, but I couldn't because it's not that kind of thing. We're still live, so be careful what you say.
I know. I'm saying I will beer helmet an Eagle Rare.
I don't think they want that.
I'll beer helmet it. I mean, as long as you don't mix it, they're gonna be fine with it, Will.
Yeah.
Just gotta do it neat.
Oh gosh, Sarah Beth is awesome.
Who's Sarah Beth?
Chance said Busta had them beat with the speed. All right.
Oh God, Eric wants me to prove that I would beer helmet a Dagamiga. I've been drinking for an hour.
No, an hour and a half.
I don't think I have to prove anything.
My wife,
Lauren is literally looking at me right now, and I don't know what time it is because I don't have it pulled up.
It's 5 till 10, and you've been screaming.
How did you know? How did you know that?
How do I know you're screaming? Or the time?
She literally just said it's 5 till 10, and the baby is crying.
Because I have a clock, and it. I don't know if you know this.
You and my wife the same person? I've actually thought this the whole time, and I'm just so glad we figured this out live.
I love that you think that you and I live in different time zones.
Okay, I'm playing charades with my wife right now. I'm pretty sure she said I need to go upstairs.
Yeah,
I need to go upstairs and rock her, is what she's saying.
Yeah, well, end it.
Oh yeah, I have that power. I have the power to end this.
She's gonna murder you.
She just got done getting them all to sleep. So it's one of those like give and take things right now. We're a team.
You're screwed. Hey, Cody, back to what I was saying about no recess when you're a parent.
Do you want me to keep this going with you only or what?
No, end it. We're done.
Some say we never left, Will.
We never began.